Hey, what's up guys? The Danimator here to give you my review of the long-awaited Half-Life Alyx. First of all, let me just say, holy crap, I can't believe I'm actually reviewing a new Half-Life game. I'm going to kick this review off by pointing out how right from the get-go you can tell the game is pulling out all the stops to make you feel immersed in the world that Alyx resides in. Over the years of playing VR, interactive objects and environment elements that are up close to the user are a couple of the things that I've noticed in VR which really makes you feel like you're there. The choice to start the game off on a balcony of sorts, then lead the user right into an area where there's a transparent window, was a great way to add to immediate player immersion. It's amazing how in VR something as simple as just opening a door can feel magical. It's also really cool to see how many graphical improvements Valve has made since the original Source games. It feels so good to be back in this universe with the new coat of paint. That being said, the new voices for Alyx and Eli are a bit distracting at first.
Alyx, how's it looking up there?
It's good, Dad. Metrocop movement is normal. Same for the Combine patrols.
I especially miss the warmth in Eli's old voice, and I feel like his new actor doesn't capture that fatherly warmth quite as well, but he does a good enough job. As for Alyx, I can see why Valve thought the voice change was necessary, as she does sound younger. However, I do hope that they bring Merle Danridge back for any games they will hopefully make going forward. I have to wonder if a simple pitch shifting of Merle's voice would have been sufficient to help her sound younger. Oh, and I can't end the topic of voice cast without talking about how insanely addictive Rhys Darby's role as Russell is. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that name correctly. Valve knew if someone were to be talking to you on and off through the whole game, the voice had to be fun to listen to, which they nailed. He can also be very hilarious at times.
Yeah, that's the way we gotta go.
No shortcut?
Yeah, that is the shortcut.
This game definitely feels more survival horror influenced than other entries in the Half-Life series. I mostly welcome this, however there was one particular chapter that honestly freaked me out so much I had trouble getting through it. It didn't help that there was a bug with my particular VR headset that made the chapter more difficult than it should have been. I'm not going to dock the game any points for this chapter because it's honestly pretty brilliant. However, I'd be lying if I said I didn't wish I could skip the chapter at times due to how anxiety-inducing it was. The weapon variety gets the job done, and I like the ability to upgrade your weapons. I do, however, miss the weird alien weapons from the older games, though. I can also say the same about enemy variety. There are some nice surprises in this game, and the game does introduce one of my favorite enemies in the franchise at about the halfway point. However, similar to what I said about the weapons, it still feels lacking, which was also one of the few minor issues I had with Half-Life 2, despite thinking that game was a masterpiece. The gravity gloves are a blast to use and work really well in VR. One benefit of running out of ammo easier is it does encourage exploration, along with finding the resin to upgrade your weapons. Another thing I love are the areas that are overtaken by Xen Fungus Flora? I'm not exactly sure what to call this stuff, but it looks awesome. It's almost like sort of creepy, gross, and beautiful at the same time. Kinda reminds me of the E.T. ride that used to be at Universal Studios back in the day. The game overall has great pacing and some really creative puzzles that I really enjoyed. Something I've always appreciated about this series is that you're not constantly gunning things down. It gives you a chance to breathe and take in the environment. One minor critique I do have with this game, though, is I have mixed feelings on the hologram puzzles you have to solve. They can be fun at times, but on the flip side, they can be a bit frustrating and tedious. Sometimes they almost felt like they were put in just to lengthen the game. I would have preferred something else in their place at times. Not a huge deal, though. There were other times where they did add to the experience and even could feel rewarding. The good news about this review is the pros far outweigh the cons. This is easily the best VR game I've ever played and a great Half-Life experience. It feels so good to visit this universe again with the new coat of paint, and also get some missing puzzle pieces of the Half-Life story along the way. Alyx is probably my favorite female character in gaming, and before this game came out I was telling my friends how cool it would be if there was an expansion where you get to play as her. Very cool to see that come to fruition. Here's hoping Half-Life 3 isn't too far away now that Valve has revisited the series. Oh yeah, and I'm not going to spoil the ending of the game, but let me just say, you're going to want to see it. Overall, I give Half-Life Alyx a 9 out of 10. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe and comment down below. You can also give a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and tell me if you liked it or disliked it. Thanks again.